Hey guys, just wanted to film a video. I haven't had anything really to post lately. I haven't, gone shopping or anything. I do have a trip coming up going to Kansas City, so hopefully I'm going to be picking up some stuff there. But I just wanted to go ahead and record something. I decided I wanted to go ahead and answer some questions that I've had some people ask, and I thought I'd just kind of give some more backstory on why I am such an avid Stephen King fan. Why Stephen King, people ask? Well, a lot of it is when I was growing up, my family, me and my mom especially, were always into horror movies and anything horror. I think I remember watching The Dead Zone and Cujo before I could even read. So I have these memories of watching these horror movies with my mom, and I was always fine with it. Like, I always knew horror movies were not real. I had no problem with horror movies, so that's why, I never had nightmares or anything like that. So it was totally normal upbringing. I was just pretty cool with stuff like that, even as a kid. But then she also had Stephen King books in the house, and I remember sitting in the den in our house in Kennesaw, Nebraska, and like looking at the books on the shelves, and Skeleton Crew, the one with the hand with all the eyes, and I believe that's Skeleton Crew, and then also. Firestarter, the original one with the white book with the flames. I just remember seeing these books on her shelf, and I was always fascinated with it. And Firestarter was actually the first book I read of Stephen King's, and it was her copy. So that was really actually very cool to have that in the family. My sister also influenced it quite a bit as well. She would loan me her books, Dreamcatcher, It, things like that. So she influenced my reading habits as well. And when I was in high school, I was a voracious reader. Like, I could read a couple hundred-page book in a day easily, like no problem. Like, my dad would have to yell at me to go out and like do things outside, not get off the TV, but put the book down and go do something. So that was kind of cool. Also, my friend Jerry was a big influence in my life as well. During high school, we both were big Stephen King fans, and we would read books at the same time and then talk about them the next day at work. And I've told this story before, like how we read The Stand and we got into arguments about like what was going on in the book because we were reading the same number of pages, but we were off. Well, it turns out one of us was reading the unedited version, and one of us was reading the edited version, and so that's why it wasn't lining up. And so we finally figured that out and got that straightened out. But we like reading Needful Things, and we went and saw the movie in the theater when it came out. So I have just fond memories of things like that as well with my friends in high school. And then I kind of got out of reading Stephen King. I still had my collection. Most of it was put away in boxes. But I just wasn't so much of a reader anymore at that point in time. I just didn't have the focus anymore. And so, I still love the movies and things like that. Um, and so I kind of got out of the habit of reading. Well, then my friend Tessa introduced me to a Facebook group called the Stephen King Constant Readers Fan Club. If you're a Stephen King fan, you should check it out. See if you can get allowed in. It's a pretty cool group. I really enjoy like all the posts and everything. But anyway, she got me into this group, and that kind of reignited my passion for Stephen King, and that was several years ago. And I started digging my collection out and started displaying it, putting it in bookcases and things like that again. And then it was a really, really sad day. I got the news that she had unfortunately passed. She had been murdered by her husband, unfortunately, in a domestic situation. A very, very sad situation. Really, really kind of shook me to my core. And then I kind of decided at that point in time that this was something that I was her lead for quite a few years there. So we were really close, and she was really a good friend. And so I decided that I would kind of continue my collection and kind of do it in her honor as well. So that's kind of another factor behind why I collect so many things. And I do it because that was something we had in common. So I like to kind of have that connection with her. So part of it is because of that. Part of it has been just a long, long history of influence of Stephen King in my life. Um, Also, a lot of people always say, well, he just does horror, or he just does, the cheap, scary gore. It's just stupid. But that's not the case. He doesn't do just horror. He does do horror, but he's also done, aliens. He's also done nonfiction. He's done books about baseball. He's done, collaborations with other authors. He does like Eyes of the Dragon is almost a fable in my opinion. So he does every kind of different genre, as well as look at Stand by Me or The Body from I believe different seasons. That one, was a great movie, not horror-ish. It's very nostalgia. A lot of people really like that movie. Don't even realize it's Stephen King. Same thing with, Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile. I mean, there's stories where this woman like is complaining to King about how he's such a bad author and she doesn't like any of the stuff he likes, but she likes The Shawshank Redemption, and he tries to tell her that he wrote that, and she's like, "No, you didn't." So it's stuff like that he does a lot of stuff that people don't maybe even realize. Like he also does a lot of stuff with comic books. Like he's a big comic book fan. He loves Batman. Like he does the introduction to different comics. There's also a comic, The X-Men, where it was a charity thing to help eliminate hunger, and he did some work on that one as well. He also did his own comic book, American Vampire. So lots of different things that he does. So I think that's very cool. He's also in the Rock Bottom Remainders. He plays rock music. He has a radio station in Maine. So, I mean, he isn't just a horror author. There's so much more to it. And he's got a very interesting history. If you actually find out about like his upbringing as a kid, his dad leaving, he had a traumatic incident where he was out playing with a friend and he came home and just went straight to bed, and his mom didn't know what happened, and the next day she found out the friend got hit by a train. He has no memory of it, so something traumatic happened and he blocked it out. So very, very interesting life history. He had a lot of things to overcome, addiction, and he just is a very interesting person and has a great view of life. So lots you can learn from him, not just his books, but he's a really smart person as well. So but yeah, that's just my take on it. That's why I'm a very big fan of Stephen King. There again, also movies and books, different universes. I never judge a Stephen King movie by the book, and I never judge a Stephen King book by the movie. It just doesn't work that way. I consider them all their different universe. So that way you can enjoy them even if they're not exactly the same. Even the Dark Tower movie, it's not that great, but it could have been a lot worse. Hopefully they come back, and I think they should do it as a series, maybe on Amazon Prime, but fingers crossed. But yeah, I really don't have anything else to say. I just wanted to put out a little video, and I thought maybe I'd share a little bit personal backstory that I hadn't actually shared before in the past. So I hope everyone is still staying safe in these trying times, and keep reading.